If God is so merciful, why is there so many people suffering all over the world?
Okay, so the question is, if God Almighty is so merciful, why are there so many people suffering all over the world? Well, you see, what we have to bear in mind that this world and the universe that God Almighty has designed is that of finite nature. And it is by virtue of design imperfect. Anything that is finite is imperfect. And God Almighty has placed us here to go through a test. Because when He decided to create paradise, because it's so good, He then devised a test for us that we have to go through to prove ourselves worthy to enter paradise. And therefore, we have to go through this test and go through these imperfections. By so doing, God Almighty then judges us, how we treat each other, how we deal with each other. Do we help each other or do we turn away from each other? Amazingly enough, that in this world, we only meet during the course of our life maybe 8 or 10 people around us. So these 8 or 10 people, or maybe a few more or a few less, in the manner that we deal with them, in the manner that we treat them and they treat us, we decide our future. Whether we shall go to paradise and we won't. And there are 2 types of duties that we have. Duties towards God Almighty and duties towards fellow human beings. So if we are negligent in performing our duties towards God Almighty, He says so, He's oft forgiving, most merciful. But if we have been unjust to other people, then there are third parties involved. Therefore, we shall have to ask them for forgiveness first and make compensation if we've been unjust and they have suffered because of that, and then turn to God Almighty for forgiveness.
Why did He not create everything perfectly in the first place?
Well, if He would have created everything perfect in the first place, then it wouldn't be a test, because then, everyone will be speaking the truth, there'll be no lies, everyone will be fulfilling their promises, and everyone will treat each other with due regard and respect and honestly and so on. Then it wouldn't be a test. But when this universe, or according to the Quran, multiverses, are rolled up and recreated, then that will be infinite and that will be perfect. Our mold and disposition in this world, you see, is that of a finite nature, in complete harmony with the finite world that surrounds us. When we shall be resurrected, our mold and disposition then will be that of infinite nature, in complete harmony with the infinite world, which will then surround us, and that will be perfect.